Welcome everyone. You're listening to it, perhaps watching, calling the Audible. My headset was on. I was not paying attention. The show has begun. Welcome everyone. This is the final. Is this the final week of calling the Audible this season?
No, we got one more.
We have one more show before we finally get to take a vacation.
Maybe two more.
No, it's not true. Is it?
There's got to be at least one.
We get a break because we get the road show.
We should make a punt. Or we'll just go to time. It'd be awesome. I'm joined, by, of course, by my co-host Simon Dagenais, who assures me he actually did his work this week. So
well,
I mean,
that's not what I said.
I said in my notes, Simon, it can't be worse than last week.
But then you said your fucking smoke show, and then you missed the intro. So,
but I do look beautiful though.
That's fair.
Eagle, how's it going, buddy?
Hi.
Eagle's producing the show as always. So yeah, we're gonna get some time off from FPF. It's gonna be awesome. I don't know about you. I'm kind of exhausted.
Will we?
Well, we have a week off maybe next week if Eagle says it's
maybe.
then we have one more podcast.
Yep.
And then whatever we're doing at the finals, which we need to figure out at the bowl finals.
Yes. And then we get Christmas, which
But I mean, but between that, so between the bowl finals and like the beginning of winter season,
we get like 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
We used to get 6 months.
That's it for Eagle and I. We're launching a new product on our own, Hot Sauce Sports. So that's
you guys like hot sauce?
For those of you who haven't been following yet on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, soon to be on Eagle, where the podcast is going to be found.
YouTube.com.
YouTube.com. The channel's named Hot Sauce Sports.
Correct.
So of course they're named across all platforms, thanks to lots of bribery and a lot of bizarre requests for Terry's penis picture. It's because Terry Tom was on the show as well, along with Mo Khan. We've got the domains for all the things hot sauce, except for Tabasco.com. So tune in; it should be interesting. And worst case, it fails horribly. And some would say best case. How's it going, guys? How's it going, Simon?
It's going better than last week. I'll tell you that much.
How is not playing for a week?
It's good, man. It's good.
But like, you guys don't have a bye, right?
Well, because we played the first week, which a lot of teams did not, so we didn't play week 9, and then we get this.
Correction, most teams played the first week because there weren't that many games this past week.
Maybe
there were 10 games, so 20 teams played.
So half. So we were both wrong.
Less than half because there's 48 teams.
48. Yeah, you're wrong. Shut up.
We don't get the bye, but it feels like we have one in some sorts. We have like a week 9 off, then this 10 to 15-ish days, and then we only play. So I think there's like a 16 or 17 days between our previous game and the next one. It's pretty good, man. It gives you like a little break from FPF before you get to go back in.
But you don't have a bye. So like we finished, once we finished week 9. I'm sure we're not the only team in this situation.
Week 8.
Or week 8, that's correct.
Yeah. We played our last game on the same night.
Yeah. And then we have a bye at first round.
Yes.
And like,
so we're
not playing in like 3 weeks.
You're never playing again.
Yeah, like it feels like we're never gonna play again. Feels like I'm never gonna see my friends again.
No, your season's over. Then you get a few weeks of practice before winter. That's what you get.
Yeah. So like all those teams in the scenario are gonna lose, right? Like it's the worst possible situation. Like my only 2 experiences having a bye in FPF, I lost both games.
Well, usually the team that you play after the bye is not a bad team because they just beat somebody.
And they're hot because they beat somebody.
And you haven't played
in a while. They're coming in at least a 1-game win streak, and you're coming out on a 3-week scratching streak.
Nice. Scratching streak. We need to keep that going. Yeah. No, byes are not very good in FPF. They're not like NFL where they actually need the bye because they're tired because they practice every day. Mm-hmm. We don't practice.
No. I mean, it's nice if you have like a lingering injury.
Yeah.
Like your quarterback has like a lingering knee problem. Like let's say like you early in the season were hurt.
Yeah, I really appreciate this time off. Like I took 2 weeks to go to Croatia. That was pretty good for my knee. Came back. Came back, tweaked it again. Now I like the 3 weeks off. We'll see what happens.
One of the 2 teams that may face after this runs by is SWAT.
Yes.
They lost to Greendale Human Beings 47-27 in week 9. We're going to cover the 3 games we didn't cover last week because they were going during the podcast.
I mean, we can't really see the future that much.
Yeah, yeah. We tried to predict them as they were going on, but it didn't work well. I don't know what to make of these two teams. They're both good and bad all at once.
I'm so confused.
Yes.
So all season I thought Greendale human beings were just having one of those down seasons, slump if you want.
No, but they've been bad.
Yeah, like
Like it's not just like they're losing games by a point. And,
they've been putting up points, but they weren't getting blown out 40.
And they're turning the ball over, which they don't normally do.
Yeah, maybe they were trying something new. Maybe they didn't want to play their usual offense, gimmicky, whatever. They were trying new plays. I don't know. Hopefully that's what it was. In this game, though, they look like their usual selves.
I've said in the past about Greendale human beings that you can't win just by going to like one or two guys, and I've urged them that you need to use them in the offense. Alex Joltapov, 12 catches, 144 yards, 11 touchdowns. Brandon Aylward, 9 catches, 108 yards, 3 touchdowns.
You know nothing. Again.
I mean, but the thing is, here's the part that I don't understand even further, is that SWAT, at least, okay, so the game, I know I got out of hand early, but like, you saw them going to those two guys. Let's say you don't know them.
Yeah, but I don't think that SWAT has the personnel to stop both these guys.
I disagree.
Well, you
it
got
takes two guys. It takes you take your two best guys.
Yeah, but so you got
and make them beat you with Danny McPhee.
You got Isaiah.
He's good, but he's not going to beat you by himself.
You got Isaiah Leonard rushing the quarterback, right? So he's their best player.
Yes.
He's rushing the quarterback, who you need to rush. Like you can't just leave. Danny's going to beat the rusher 80% of the time. Danny Aylward, right? So putting him on the rusher is a good decision. But then Sean Haney is not fast enough to cover either Brandon Aylward or Alex Joltapov or Danny McPhee. He's a size matchup
coming out of the snap, so you can cover him.
But you're talking about covering. They're 3 to 5 yard routes. You just follow him, let him complete, and then just.
Danny Aylward does take more shots than Joey Taylor.
Yeah.
Yes, but if you're gonna get beat like that, then get the ball back and then you can go on offense.
Yeah.
Right. Force them to beat you that way because that's not his strength.
What we did was play man every single play and play underneath the receiver. Yeah. So he has to make the throw over your head.
Yeah.
So like even if they're faster, he still needs to make the perfect throw.
That's what usually.
So you play underneath the route no matter what.
That's what has worked against Joey Taylor's system recently. Is if you force him to throw over people's heads, then it becomes a lob. You have a safety over top, or you're able to be very aggressive. You're able to spot the ball in the air, and then you have the size matchup because these guys aren't that tall. And
not only that, is the ball, like you said, it's a lob. Even the ones that are intercepted or whatever they can get contested. And again, given Sean Haney's size and given a lot of these guys' size, like you figure that's a tough matchup for these receivers, and it wasn't the case. Isaiah Lard, however, five catches, 99 yards, 3 touchdowns. Did Greendale human beings be like, all right, we'll give you Isaiah, beat us with just one guy?
I mean, most likely that's what happened, or at some point being up 27-7. I'm assuming they had a comfortable lead, and they said, even if you score, as long as you don't score fast, we're winning this game. We're up by 20. So they probably decided to play very safe with a few guys deep to make sure they don't get thrown over their heads and allow Isaiah Lard to catch underneath patterns and ins. And even if they're 15-yard receptions, they won't be able to march fast enough to come back from a 20-yard deficit. So most of these points were probably scored in considerably garbage time, although it was a second half. If you're down by 20, you're not winning that game.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably did what they did in the first half worked really, really well for them. They stopped them. They might have cracked a few, like they got an interception. If it happened early in the game, they get a 20-point gain on them, 20-point game.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially over if you're able to keep score offensively with what you did, right? If you score 47, you most likely will not lose games.
Usually, yeah. Simon, where did you grow up? Montreal.
That's all.
That's all?
Yes,
we're gonna eventually get to some more games. We're gonna preview the games coming. And we're gonna get to the award winners as well. So if you're listening to see if you won an award today, tonight's the show to watch.
Oh, by the way, there's awards.
There's awards this season.
It's nice, by the way. A lot of people asked me. I said no. I didn't know back then.
Because that's what we agreed to before the season started, and then someone changed their mind.
Yeah.
So, like, at this point, okay, and this has been fun. Honestly, I like the promotion relegation. I think the guy who thought of it was a goddamn genius. But The thing is that, like, why don't we just have a season?
I
Like,
think
is it that different? I know field availability, but like at this point,
I think
are we using enough field that it makes no difference?
At this
It's
point.
more than just field availability. It's also the referees because they're doing other games. It's the players not
Yes,
as
but like
many.
if
so-
we're talking about a difference of 2 or 3 weeks total, including playoffs,
Or we can make a shorter season altogether.
which is what we've done already in a sense.
Well, because the first time we did it was sort of a different gimmicky format because of the division, right?
Yeah.
The whole reason the FPF Cup was because we can't have all 6 divisions because we don't have enough teams. Even if we look at it right now, we have 4 tiers, but we've talked about it last week. The tiers itself they're not as competitive as our usual divisions because there's not enough teams to split it properly, right? Like we're looking at we have Division 3 teams facing Div A or Kevin Wyeth because we have to put 12 in the same pool.
You say that, but
But it ended up being 6 in the pool. At the
yeah,
end.
tier 1 is the only one where you kind of see a real, I guess, difference. Maybe tier 4, arguably like the brand new teams. Tier 2 and 3 were tight.
Well-
yeah, and tier 2 was better than I thought. Tier 2 was gonna be a disaster.
No, it was actually really tight.
But from the if the pool was smaller, if we had like a 6-man pool, a 16 pool instead of 12, the pools would have been more competitive.
But like so, I mean,
If you look at it now, you take the top 6 of tier 2 playing against each other. It's a much closer game than Diablos playing against the 12th seed, right?
yeah.
So if we would have made pools of 6, it would have been more competitive. But then teams would have played the same team more than once, and
That's fair.
it takes away from the whole FPF experience of playing different teams all the time.
That's true. So we're gonna interject though with a few things. We're gonna pick a lot on Simo this week because he was so terrible last week,
Fair.
like so god awful.
and he didn't even play.
Yeah, and like so like, but like there's some weeks where like Simo's bad and we can use it for content, and then there's some weeks where like Simo just dies on the table, and then we have a corpse, and I don't know what to do with it.
It's worse.
That's what last week felt like. So we're gonna pick on you a little bit, because
Tell
I
people.
have 2 things going on in this show. One called Does Simon Even East?
Okay.
So we're going to talk
The
about
answer is
East
no.
End things, and we're going to see how well you know Montreal's East End.
I do
So
not.
we're going to educate the West End of the audience, and for the East Enders, this is we're throwing a bone to you, because you know that all the best spots in the city are in the East End.
Or if you don't, you'll know some of it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort
That's the
of.
education part. That's literally the first thing I said. Now starting well. The next thing is Simon is old and complains about.
I mean,
And then we're gonna get to your 90 seconds of heat. So I hope they're different from your 90 seconds.
they are. I wrote them down.
Nice. Already a step up from last year. So Eagle, do you have a thing to start with Does Simon Even East?
Favorite or best Thangwich shop? And notice I pronounced it Thangwich.
Yeah, with a G, obviously.
Obviously.
Am I supposed to pick like an East End spot?
Yes. By the way, there's no correct answer to this.
Because there's 2, and either one we're good. We can pick the other one.
I mean, Milano's is good.
It's Chocharos, dude. Obviously, it's Chocharos.
It's Victoria's.
Oh, Victoria's. So there's 3 choices. There's 3 choices, and either one, any of them you're gonna pick, we're gonna come at you. So yes, those are the 3 East End sandwich places.
Also Damarco, but the hours are a little bit tricky.
Yeah, well, that's the other place you don't have to worry about. The other 3 places you don't have to worry about hours. So that's the key.
Yeah,
24-hour
Milano's don't
sandwich
close.
shops. Hmm?
Apparently, there's this rumor that I heard about a few weeks ago that like 10 years ago they lost one of the keys to the door, but since they never closed because it's 24/7, they
No effort.
they didn't care because we don't close anyways.
Yeah, plus, it's run by people you wouldn't want to steal from anyway.
It's pretty funny anyways.
So, what's the best donut in the city?
The what?
The best donut in the city.
Oh, I don't.
And if you say Tim's, I'll kill you.
No, there's this one place. I keep forgetting the name. I've been like 20 times. It's right next to my place in Marchatwater. They're amazing. But
Wrong. It is
but
Salerno, the 24-hour bakery in Huntsic. It is, by the way, 24-hour bakery.
so
You
Unsick is
know a lot of people smoke in
Unsick is not that east. Though.
It's east of Saint Laurent, man. Literally east in the city.
I guess.
Anyway, it's Montreal North, man. That's pretty east.
But yeah, okay, fair.
Like Huntsic, Montreal North, right? So
Yeah.
um,
Stretching it. Quartierville, yeah.
it's not Castillo though, because it's like close to like Papineau,
Yeah. Okay.
like close to where we
Yeah,
have Stade de
that's
Montréal.
fair. Okay.
All right, so also if you finish the Stade de Montréal, you need a killer ass donut. Salerno, dude, I'm telling you,
Okay.
they are fluffy, they're buttery, they're beautiful. I forgot Natalia's at work. I'm a shitty boyfriend because I can't eat them, so I just forgot to bring it home to her. Hawks took on Warriors. Eagle, did you need Hawks to win or lose this game to tie Simon or beat Simon?
Whichever team won is the one I picked.
I mean,
Warriors won.
Simone Co.
And I picked Warriors.
You
yes.
picked Hawks?
No, Simone Co. I don't know who I picked. I wasn't there. Simone Co. It wasn't me. I was winning before I left.
So congratulations, Eagle.
Woo!
You won.
We actually tied. I was behind.
He didn't win.
But you did so bad the last few weeks. I caught up. Like, it was really bad.
You
I
don't
think GM was the worst of them
You
all.
don't have to rub it in. My subs are terrible.
I win.
So Warriors beat Hawks 34-13. I don't know how you picked Hawks, man.
I'm also very confused. It must have been like pick the name sort of thing, or whoever replaced me as a grudge against the Warriors.
Was
Was
it against you?
Was it Terry?
Right.
Yeah, he did it on purpose.
Who was that week? The last week? Oh, it was Terry Time.
Nah, he's terrible.
Oh, because he picked Yakub. That's why. Yeah, I'm like,
There you go.
bias. The dirtiest word in FPF. Michael Soleimani had a great game. We had debated the Warriors and whether or not, like,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
have.
whether they're standing in FPF now and how have they struggled. But he's quietly had a great season. Like 1,400 yards, 34 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 63.8% percent completion, 113.8 QBR, and since their 0-2 start, they've been 5-1.
Matt's radio.
Math radio, right there.
It's great. No, but for
I
real,
just said numbers.
we talked about them around like week 3 and 4 when they were like 2-2, I believe, or 1-3,
1-2
or
and-
yeah, and they weren't very high on Warriors, saying it's not so much the team but who they're playing against. And ever since, they decided to prove us wrong.
So that's it. So like, with them now performing better, is this them just sort of catching their bearings, or is this a result of their schedule lightening up?
I think it's a bit of both. I think they have a few new pieces that they weren't necessarily used to. So it's like anybody else. You don't necessarily click with your receivers on day one. So it's good to see that they were able to get that chemistry going. I think their schedule was a bit easier in the back end than it was in the front end also, which helps. But like you said, Michael Soleimani,
Soleimani.
Yes, sorry. Had a great season overall. Like, he only threw 5 interceptions, 34 touchdowns. He had a good season. He's able to pick teams apart when he's playing against, that sort of pool of competition. And he's been playing well. He had a few bad weeks early on in the season. They pushed him aside, and 5-1 since. Warriors are a good team that we might have underestimated just because we expected more out of them.
So we know the Hawks lack some firepower on offense, but Yakub Telemak recorded 171 total yards.
Not bad.
But yet their offense was able to do little against the Warriors. Why do you think that is? Their defense, right?
It's most likely a red zone issue. This is something that A Squad which is one of Yakub Telemak's previous teams, and when he captained for the longest time, had issues with is if they don't have that big guy in the red zone, they struggle because Yakub Telemak doesn't have that running ability when they get to the red zone, right? That's his number one threat, is he's able to beat the rusher, run around, buy a lot of time, and find an open receiver, or just scramble for 20 yards. But once you get to the red zone, the other team knows you cannot run. So even if you start scrambling, nobody's going to break coverage just to come after you because they know you can't run. And they've struggled in the red zone for quite some time, winning games like 13-6. They'll get 200 yards, but they only score twice because they struggle in the red zone. They pin the other team at the 1, and then they play defense from there. They don't allow to score, and they basically play field positioning. And if they had a kicker, you would probably be the best fantasy kicker you could get. They're essentially
that's the thing in fantasy. Like, you're like, I gotta pick a kicker whose offense is good but not that good.
So A Squad is essentially like the Baltimore Ravens of the
there we go.
The FPF Cup. And I feel like the Hawks are similarly to that, where they'll get a lot of yards, they'll move the field. It's encouraging to see them play because you feel like they have an opportunity. But when they get to the red zone, they struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like, I think the Warriors defense knew that. They knew they wouldn't contain Yakub Telemak as a runner. And when they got to the red zone, he knew he couldn't run anymore. Just covered their guys, and they couldn't score.
So what are you drinking right now?
Coffee from McDonald's.
So you put in your notes for the show you needed to address coffee.
Yes.
And something's wrong with coffee now. So we call this Simo's old and complains about coffee.
I'm not sure why I'm old. I'm the youngest guy here.
Today's show may prove the opposite.
But
your entire like pre-show like topics, all of them were basically get off my lawn. So
back in my day,
I was like, who is this guy?
So this morning I was at Tim Hortons to grab breakfast because I had to rush out of the house, and I noticed this like it's not like a billboard but pancarte there saying they have like this Hershey's coffee, or I don't even know if they call it like iced coffee Hershey's, whatever. And it looks like
That's the worst description of anything ever.
it looks terrible. That's what it looks like. Even you wouldn't like it, and it's like a mountain of sugar.
Ooh.
Starbucks used to do it, and they got famous for doing like non-coffee coffees.
To be fair, they all contain coffee.
Yeah, that there's still coffee, but let's be realistic. Starbucks doesn't do coffee unless you're ordering like an actual. You know what I mean?
He's talking about like a double shot of espresso, whipped mocha, chocolate,
But, like-
mochaccino, vanilla.
My man.
But it's a coffee. It's not one I would drink, but it's a coffee.
It's
Well,
a
if
sugary
it's 20%
intoxication.
coffee and 80% sugar,
Eagle, also look up the item that Starbucks sells in the greatest quantity. Because I'm pretty sure, like, see once you made up a stat, like, they barely sell coffee anymore.
I can almost guarantee you it's indie CDs that they have in the front.
it's what?
Like the CDs of people, like the indie
It's
artists.
not the CD. Stop.
Stop. That would be
Actually,
right.
well, that ties into the next thing.
That
But
would
you
be
can
pretty
research that in a second. Because Eagle, you want to mention your basic bitch starter pack. I want to start a basic bitch starter pack with the CDs from Starbucks. Whenever Natalia listens to music that's not country or hip hop, I turn to her and be like, "What is this? The Starbucks CD?" And then I call her basic bitch, and then it's a giant argument.
That is all.
It's not your fault. She's basic.
What's the starter pack?
Yeah. So okay. So
It's your topic.
I was
Did
trying
Simone
to.
bite you before the show? Do you have venom in you? Do you have Simone venom in you?
Wow.
Oh, God,
I got dirty fast.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys might have known of like the whole starter pack thing. So this is kind of like a while back it was like popular or whatever. So the basic bitch starter pack was always a pair of Uggs, right? You had either Lululemon or pink leggings or jeggings or whatever they're called. You had the Starbucks PSL, or in the Christmas time more like the gingerbread latte instead.
So something
And-
from Starbucks.
Something from Starbucks. You always had the flashy iPhone case, which was also there at one point. And there was like variations of them. There was like a Canada Goose jackets and
If you
everything.
had to add one
so-
thing, Simone, what would it be?
Remember like 10 years ago, that phone that you could like flip sideways to have the keyboard on?
Oh yeah,
Ah,
the one in the
The
Nelly
sidekick.
video where they're on Excel.
So that one, and
Oh.
you see the girl in the corner just typing really fast, and you're like, I was in trouble.
See, I would add another thing, but it's something they're out of because they can't even. Dream Breakers dropped a can't even on Los Avocados,
Yeah, they can't
who
even.
couldn't even keep up.
No.
It was 43-27.
Nice.
Avocados finished the season 2-5-1 in Tier 3. Is this a disappointment after such a good season Division E, or is that just where they are? Like, they're a Division 6/E team.
I think that's just where they are. I think this tier 3 was a little bit out of their depth. It proves that if Los Avocados were to move up in, let's say, Division 5A or even 5B, they might struggle due to their lack of depth.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no question Thomas Zorco can play as high as Division 2 or 3. We've seen it before.
Yeah.
But the other guys around him, if we consider he's got 46 catches and the next four receivers have 44 combined.
Good research.
My man.
I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you did the research.
But like if you consider that their lack of depth is problematic. He's getting 50% of the passes, and when you play against a team that's able to cover him, if you have the DB to cover Thomas Zorco properly,
Mm-hmm.
what do they do then? Right? If he has zero
struggle.
catches, would they
And-
put up only 20 points?
And like there's guys who can play in this team. Ilya Kratsov can play. We saw
The team itself isn't bad.
like Igor Hubin,
Yeah,
very good season and very talented player as
they
well.
have good players, but they've never had a strong defense also. Right?
Mhm.
It's not a team that wins 18 to 14 games. It's a team that usually wins 36 to 30 sort of games.
Yeah.
Like they'll allow 4 or 5 scores, but they'll put up 5 or 6. The problem is when you start limiting their offense because you start figuring out what they're doing, their defense crumbles, and this is exactly what happens. Yes, they put up 27, which is good, but they've also allowed 43, and they lost by 16.
Yeah. Were Dream Breakers the best defense in Tier 3? Like, just to put them in perspective, they allowed 163 points. So,
It's pretty good.
in 8 games, that's about 20 points a game. They led...
I think they did have a forfeit in there though. Let me peek.
Okay. They also had 15 interceptions, though, where Samuel Dallaire led
Yeah.
it by 4 interceptions. And they collectively had 7 sacks.
I mean, that's pretty good. In 8 games, or 7 if it's
I was mistaken. They did not.
in 8 games. It's pretty good, right? Like it's 2 picks a game,
Yeah.
and a sack a game.
Yeah.
So it's, I believe they might have had the best defense in tier 3. If they're moving up, well, they're gonna play against the bottom half of tier 2. Having a strong defense is gonna give your offense an extra opportunity or two. So your quarterback is gonna play against sort of defenses and teams he hasn't really seen before. So higher quality of players, higher caliber players, not quality caliber, and he might struggle a little bit early on in games because you might be surprised by how these guys are faster than expected. These guys know what they're doing a little bit more than the teams we faced. So having a strong defense behind you is going to allow you to get that extra possession to sort of make up for that mistake you made earlier.
Though one thing I am going to argue, though, in Tier 3, Los Bandidos, I think, might even be the better defense. Only 159 points against, so 4 less, and 24 interceptions across the team.
That's pretty
24.
Yeah.
So there we go. They
That's
have
3. That's
how many
3 games,
sacks?
man.
Well, 5.
All right, so
It's just Banditos, man. Yo,
And of
24
Bandidos
picks.
lost in one category.
Of those 24
Not unanimous.
INTs, 5 of them were 4 scores.
Yeah, that's,
So they
that's
put up
I mean-
30 points on INTs.
I mean, realistically, that's 3 picks a game.
Yeah.
This is disgusting.
that is pretty awful.
How do I get on this team?
They don't want you.
Step 1, you don't suck. Sorry.
God damn it!
Step 2, you're a mobile quarterback.
I feel there's a lot of steps I can't do.
Do you have something for Simo? Do you even East?
I was gonna say coffee shops, but it's not as apparent anymore, and there's a lot of good places that opened up in like the third wave coffees. So, if
like
you're
the
gonna stick
what?
to like, oh, okay. So the traditional Italian espressos are very bitter and
Yes.
harsh, I guess you could say. So there's a new type of coffee that's coming out, which is a little bit like it's roasted differently, it's brewed differently.
Yeah, okay.
Where it's a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit
yeah.
lighter in a sense, but it's got a little bit more like an oily taste to it. So some people really like it, others are like, oh no, I like the hardcore stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what that is.
Sorry, I didn't know the name into it.
Yes.
This guy.
It's
why I hate
after going out, you're getting home. Where do you stop off in the East End
In the East End.
for
Well,
late night?
First of all, there's no way I'm stopping on my way home from
Yeah,
the East End.
You, know,
'cause-
you don't know this. You were partying in Point
so I have to go from downtown to the East End back to the South?
Yeah.
I will not.
There was a house
I
party
can't
at
take this
Pease's
morning.
house.
It's easy
and
work.
it was
You have
2
to be
a.m.
at my
and you're
house.
wasted.
Exactly.
Ah.
There we go.
What I'm going to do is usually when I leave Peace's house, I'm fed up. I first of all, I can't eat anymore, can't drink anymore.
It's also usually
So
the morning
I'm-
because you slept there because
So I'm also
you can't drive the same night.
I'm either passing out or I got a lift. And either way, I'm not really making a decision, so I can't.
Okay. The correct answer
Yes.
was Jerry Smoked Meat.
Oh, I've been there.
As you should. It's a
Yeah,
glorious
I've been
place.
there.
Did you go off the
Also-
podcast or?
No, it was after. You remember those FPF night tournaments?
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hogs is also on the list. Not
Hogs
as
of-
good, but still close.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, the top of the top is, of course, Jerry Smoked Meat, an establishment in the East End of Montreal. Simo, you're old, and now you complain about pink lemonade.
Who likes pink lemonade?
I do.
I mean, it's lemonade.
But it's worse than regular lemonade.
Why?
'Cause-
Also, what makes pink lemonade pink?
Pink. They put pink in it.
It doesn't taste the same as regular lemonade.
I mean, they're all just a lot of sugar.
It's just more sugar.
Yeah, it doesn't taste the same.
What's wrong with sugar?
It's not good when there's too much of it.
No.
I mean, either way, you're pouring bourbon in
So-
there, aren't you?
So
So
Yeah,
if
but
you
I
had
guess to
choice,
Smel's point, your bourbon's gonna look really girly if it's pink.
that's a good point.
it doesn't really matter.
So this is about imposing gender roles in 2018.
No,
That's
it's
actually
not.
what it is.
So
There's different. There's different.
if you had to
identities
drink
now.
lemonade, which one would you pick?
Did you
Oh,
just
that's a good
assume
one.
my lemonade's color?
Pink? Really?
What?
Did you just assume my lemonade's color?
That hits on two.
Sue me for lemonade.
No, I'd probably go pink.
Really?
I mean, look. So I'm not big on sweets, and I'm not big on sweet drinks.
Yeah, but you've had lemonade before in your
I
life.
have had lemonade before. The last time I was a child, and I chose pink lemonade. Want to know why? Because I was a child. And it
Okay,
was
but
more-
now
I don't. Now I would choose beer.
I hate you
Couple
so much.
comments on Facebook, which I didn't get to before. Peeze, you're in trouble because someone said that they don't get a donut.
I know.
And
I'm gonna go get it back to. I'm gonna go back to work to get it, baby.
and then Nimrod Jemikovinsky says Hawks take the playoffs by storm, and a bunch
Every
of exclamation
time,
marks.
yo, I mean,
every time
I'm down for for trash talk.
So $20 that Ox loses next week because
I'm not
Nimrod's
taking
in.
the bet because, like Nim's a good dude, and the thing is that literally every time he makes a promise in FPF, they lose the following week.
And
like,
it's not close.
I'm all for it. I'm down for the trash talk. I'm down for you know how I am, right? You've played with me.
You know
I
how
never
I am.
shut up. I love it. It's amazing.
You're the worst.
But
pretty bad.
man, you got to win one of those. So if this is the one, we won't do the Sportrito thing. If they win, we're gonna praise him for having belief in his team.
But
we won't forget it. But if you lose, we're gonna make fun of you hard. Though.
But how many times? Like, how many chances does he have?
Sorry?
Like, how many times can you do it? Like, can you really go like 0-19 before you get your first win by saying, "Oh, we're gonna win this week"?
Well, I mean, that was your dating philosophy. Let's get to the first of the games.
That was pretty good.
The projections and general wasting of time. Let's look at the Wyeth Bowl, as we already covered the Ojea Bowl, the teams in Tier 1. 11 Dirty Dogs dropping down from Tier 1 to take on number 18 SWAT. This could have been, would have been, might have been the best playoff game
This would have been
of all we're going to talk about.
We say would have been.
Could have been or will have been.
Yes.
Will have
all
been.
these
Have
words.
be.
Is it
Will have
official?
been my favorite one.
Is it official?
I don't know.
I
That's
don't
why
think so. So we'll
I've only been asking
pretend.
Rob all week.
No, so we'll pretend for podcast sake that this game is happening. Just the matchup of Isaiah Lard against Ryan Lenonowski is going to be super interesting to watch. I think he's one of the rare guys that could actually keep up with him and contain him and just force Ryan Lenonowski in uncomfortable positions. I think that SWAT, although their defense might not be their strongest suit, might play against the sort of receivers they'll be able to cover well. It's going to be super interesting to see what Gino DeFazio was able to do offensively against the sort of defense that these guys run.
You know what he's going to do. He's going to throw to Sean Haney.
Yeah, but he won't be
Throw to
there.
Isaiah Lard. He's
He
going
won't.
to throw it at Alexandre.
But he won't be there because they actually have tall and fast receivers that can keep up with him.
Yeah, but you asked what he's going to do. He's going to do that.
But yeah, but
I'm not
then
saying
if-
it's going to be
but then
successful.
if he
I'm
gets
saying
picked off, he's
going
going to
do
have to
that.
do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will.
I agree with you. He won't. But I agree with you.
That's
Such a
the
hater,
thing.
Eags.
I feel like we talk about the evolution of FPF and where I think that Gino DeFazio was very successful in the past was there was less talent available in FPF.
Yes.
So like guys like Tacos Lazara were in a womb at the time, or were in grade school. Literally, I think he was in grade school.
But not in the womb there.
Not in a womb. But soon we'll get there though.
I
Soon
mean,
we'll be
Tacos
guys-
is 14, but
yeah.
that wasn't 14 years ago.
But just to say that the talent pool has increased with more teams, obviously.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like teams are more complex on defense than they've ever been.
To their credit, these guys are also older.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see a difference just your first season FPF, the physique that you had versus today.
It's better now. I was so fat when I started FPF. This is the reason why I started FPF was my friends were like, "You're gonna die soon. You gotta start running."
But yeah, just overall, we'll give them credit saying they're still able to keep up at,
Yeah, no. Dude, look, these are phenomenal athletes. But I'm saying that in the past, like,
But
you
I
just-
agree with you.
Like the philosophy for a guy like Gino DeFazio was, you know what? I'm a good quarterback. I throw the ball hard. I'm gonna go to my guys no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm gonna force feed my guys, and my guys will win. That doesn't work anymore in FPF because every team has guys now.
Yeah.
And secondly, defenses are so adaptive in FPF as compared to when I started 10 seasons ago or 5 years ago.
Yeah, not 10 years.
Well, to clarify, Peeze, you can still
Defenses
do
were
that.
very static when I started.
It still works, but it's not as efficient, and there's so much.
But you won't win. You're gonna run into teams that will take it away, and then you have nothing.
Well,
Well,
There-
you
there's
can.
so much
I mean,
more
I was
now.
always going to say, if you have one-on-ones that I guess you usually win, and then suddenly you end up with ones that you don't, you can still find ways to win those matchups, right? You put the ball in a place where the DB can't make a play. You try and double move.
But
And
that's what I'm
everything.
saying.
You
So,
can
like,
do things around it.
Where FPF was before, I feel, was having the biggest, fastest, strongest horses.
Yep.
And now it's
not
about
that
how teams adapt.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about, like there's teams in this tournament that are less athletic than the teams they're beating, and how they're winning those games is schemes and intelligence. And look, they're gonna those teams will run into other teams that they can't beat because they don't have the horses, But I don't understand teams that do and then don't adapt.
So all you're saying is you're just praising Jean-Guy right now.
Yeah,
That's
Jean-Guy
all I'm
is-
hearing.
they're the guys actually.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's changed is that mistakes are much more punishable now.
Yeah.
Whereas beforehand, if you made a mistake, the athleticism would kind of clean that up, and now you don't get away with it anymore.
Yes, up to an extent. I feel it's what
Well,
you're.
the higher up you go, rather.
Yeah, the higher up you go, the more true that statement is, right? You're facing a much deeper pool of talent, and the guys, there's more and more.
But even like my experience to say is starting to, and I think because before, if you remember, only one person per team could play in a higher division.
Yeah.
Now with the cap and everything, and guys can play on multiple teams. I know when I first started playing in Division 3, I was amazed that defenses are super complex and guys are moving and jumping routes and jumping into gaps and like I didn't understand any of that, and it was terrifying. I was like, I thought that I was open, and then there's two guys in front of me, and one of them has the ball and is returning it for a touchdown. But then, like, now you're starting to see a lot of those defensive concepts trickle down even into Division 6 because you get guys. Because before, you know, a team in Division 5 wouldn't have 4 or 5 guys who played higher divisions because they literally could not.
Yeah, and we also have a lot more content now. You see more games of the week, more guys making plays. You see more overall. The guys in lower divisions get to see more games. There's a podcast talking about it, which we didn't necessarily have before. Guys didn't necessarily talk about the team, so you kind of know what you're up against. You have a better idea of how that team is gonna do offensively, defensively, and you know, we give guys tips all the time. Like, you should do this, you should do that. Don't just sit around and wait for the ball. Stuff like that. That helps teams that don't necessarily know better.
Yeah.
All that together makes it a more competitive FPF than it's ever been.
So what we're saying is we can't fully report on it because we don't know all the details. Dirty Dogs, due to injuries, may not be able to play the game.
I mean, we'll see soon.
So we'll see.
We're gonna have an official report at some point.
After the game, we'll know for certain.
Well, I think we're gonna know before. I don't think for sure this is not gonna be a no-show.
Yeah.
So we'll know, but this game is in like a week and a half, in like 7 days.
So we have time.
We have time.
Who wins the game? If provided that there's 6 on Dirty Dogs and SWAT's there.
On 6-on-6, I'm giving Dirty Dogs a nod. I think they're faster, more creative, and they're gonna find a way to shut down SWAT's offense.
I want to disagree but for the argument you made, so that's interesting, because I think Ryan Lelinowski will not be able to buy time because Isaiah Allard is a phenomenal rusher.
I mean,
He might be like top 5 in FPF.
he might be top 5 all times.
Yeah.
Because of the impact he's able to have as a rusher.
Just because, like, there's guys who are big, there's guys who are fast, there's guys who take a great angle. They're not usually the same guy. Like, just his body type makes it sound impossible that he takes the best angles.
Yeah. And his
And is able to,
wingspan.
but it's like, so like he's able to run. He's so tall. He's able to run low and keep a low center of gravity to change direction, and also still be tall enough to take away passing.
He
lanes.
runs low on purpose, but his wingspan is so big that it takes away a slant and the ball in the middle. It's impressive to watch.
The second game in the Wyeth Bowl.
Yes.
Will be between Sweat and Beers and Voodoo.
We talked about that game last week.
Did we?
No, impossible.
We had a discussion.
Sweat and Beers hadn't played yet.
Yeah,
but we had
Voodoo
this
was
discussion
about
before.
to play, or SWAT with their other player. One of them was going to play, and we didn't know the actual standings.
we
so
had
this
a
game we did
discussion.
not talk about.
To be honest, I don't know because
We
I've
talk-
written so many articles.
You don't
in the last
remember?
2 weeks.
We talked about Robbie Robinson, and you said Voodoo is the time that's going to beat them, and I said, and I disagreed.
But we said potential. Yes, because it was one of the potential.
We had
teams.
this.
So let's just do a pick then.
Okay, I'm sticking with Sweat and Beers.
I'm going Voodoo.
I'm going Voodoo, and it's not close. I think Sweat and Beers are in for rude awakening in this part of the
What's
game.
not close? Give me like a average.
43-18.
I was gonna
Okay,
say,
like
I was gonna
25
say 44-19.
points.
Yeah, like 2 defensive scores.
Like not 2 scores, like 25 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say 44-19 actually. So
Yeah, there we go.
Ugh.
Voodoo's better than you would.
I mean, if
They're
they
better than they get credit for.
if they win by 10, it's pretty good to me.
The only thing is, again, with Voodoo, the thing is with Voodoo is if they start with a lead, Sweat and Beers will not have a chance.
Yep, agreed.
They'll
So
keep
they
their
should
accelerator down.
start with the ball. Is what you're saying.
They should. But if Sweat and Beers make a mistake early, Voodoo will make him pay. If Voodoo starts with the ball and Sweat and Beers makes a mistake shortly thereafter, Voodoo will keep the accelerator on and Sweat and Beers will feel the pressure and they'll make a mistake. Robbie Robinson may throw into coverage or he may try and force the ball or guys won't run the sharpest routes because that's the issue on this
Yeah.
team. They're not the deepest at receiver.
I could agree to that. But we'll see. Time will tell.
In the Pollice Bowl, which we'll get to in a second, because before that, we got to hear more of your grumpiness.
Okay.
You are old and you complain about Eagle.
He's the worst. But that wasn't my topic.
It was kind of.
No, it wasn't.
I changed it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Because I had a better outcome. But it's fine. I
Okay.
hate you.
Peeze knows what he's doing.
No, he doesn't. Because I said,
It's to keep a theme, you know.
I understand. But then we could have went
you?
with like top 5 producers of all time that could replace Eagle. And then you could have been super creative
Okay,
with
so
your
we're
choices.
gonna do snake draft for producers to replace Eagle.
Okay.
You want to
I'll-
go first?
I'll like it.
Eagle, you're in
No,
it too.
What?
You're in the snake draft too.
I'm in a snake draft to replace myself.
Yes.
Can I pick myself as a replacement?
No, Eags, you have
Can
to
I
replace
create
it.
an alter ego, which I then select?
Can you?
only as
Are
your
you-
first pick.
Are you able to do it?
All right. So
Only once?
where do we start? We're starting the draft.
Number 5. Number 1?
Number 5. So
No, okay, yeah, whatever.
it's like a power ranking snake draft.
We should only pick 5, not 15.
No,
It's gonna
5.
take too long.
Obviously 5. Number 5. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go
make it quick.
first. Number 5, Eddie Tarabay.
It's a throwback to old FPF. He used to be the producer before Eagle.
Am I also taking? No, I should pick number 4, so it's faster. Number 4, Chapman.
No, but we're doing 5 picks each.
It's a,
I'm gonna get quick.
okay.
I got RoboCop
That's not bad.
and a Terminator. Back to you.
And
Because I got the snake, so I gotta go pick 2. So now this is your 4th.
that girl from Superman, Lana. What's her face?
Lana Lane.
Yes.
Lois Lane?
No.
Lana's the sister.
Yeah.
It's both characters. I think he meant Lois though.
Yeah.
I
No.
missed something, obviously.
Did you mean Lana Lane from
Yes.
like
From Superman. Yes.
okay?
Not Lois.
You only got 2 here.
So number 4, I'm gonna go with GM Calethris, and number 3, I'm gonna go with Dr. Zvato.
Nice.
I'm gonna go with Steven Spielberg because I want everything to just blow up.
Yeah? Well, I got a better one then. I'm going first Michael Bay.
Oh my god!
I'm not letting you get Michael Bay next round.
I was planning on doing it. I was like, Steven Spielberg gonna give us a good story, but Michael Bay, man, the
Michael Bay.
explosions.
And then, because I had to pick him there, because I want to pick him higher, but I'm going to pick him there because I don't want you to get him. Then I'm going to go with Cheryl from Archer.
Oh, so solid.
Yeah. I kind of want Eagle to yell at me every day.
I need glue.
I would go with actually Archer from Archer, just because it's gonna be. He's not gonna give a fuck whatsoever, and we're gonna have a better show than we actually have right now.
At number 2, I'm gonna go with Chapman, and then at number 1, I would put
Chapman
our
was
president,
chosen,
Robert Campana.
Chapman was
I
chosen.
already picked Chapman.
Aw, I thought I could pick them because we're doing snake. Okay, well then, yeah, we'll put Campana at number 2 then.
Okay.
And then at number 1 overall for replacing me, we're going to go with El Aquila, which will be the Mexican version of Eagle.
All right.
It's basically just me, but more like angry and illegal.
Your final pick?
I have to be Mexican.
Well, why couldn't
My
you be?
my final pick's Batman, just because every time we're gonna ask him a question, I'm Batman.
I'm pretty sure I won this draft. I'm pretty sure I won this
Because?
draft / top 5
Because
I'm going with the only child the Dacolas wish they ever had, Eagle's brother. So
He's a doctor.
He's
Way
so mu-
better than me.
he's so
I'm
much
the
better than
failure
you.
in the family.
he's so much better than you. But honestly, if we have Michael Bay, we would be so cool.
yeah, I know.
We'd basically be cool guys not looking at explosions.
Instead, we're just losers talking about flag football.
Before we get back to the Pollice Bowl, Simon, I've been informed that you need to stop breathing into the mic like James Gandolfini, and then rest in peace. Thank you, Mac Urek.
I love you, Matt.
Eagle, can you make explosions behind us?
Oh, yes.
So,
I won't,
Pollice Bowl,
but I could.
Greendale Human Beings take on Dream Breakers. Greendale Human Beings being team 21 take on Dream Breakers at 26.
Yep.
I bought enough time. Now you talk.
So the thing about Dreambreakers we talked about 5 minutes ago is that they have a good defense that's going to help them as they move up. Problem is Greendale Human Beings that tough offense that's a bit tricky and you might not be able to stop as easy as you think you would. The only way I could see
I heard the
Dreambreakers,
breath this time.
yeah,
It's so loud.
The only,
I'll
the
stop
only
paying
way
attention.
I could hear.
It's in your head now.
The only way this guy. The only way Dreambreakers wins this game is they do have the athletes to keep up with Greendale human beings if they play like very tight man-to-man coverage. So if they're playing guys like if they do have the matchups to sort of shut down Brendan Aylward. If they're able to take these guys away, just
So who,
with their
like, who
speed.
would it be? Would it be Samuel Dallaire?
Samir Della is definitely rushing against Danny Aylward, right?
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant
No,
Brendan Aylward.
no,
My mistake.
yeah.
I misheard you.
So, but if you're playing this team and you're fast enough to keep up with them, that's when they struggle the most. If you're able to understand what they're running and you're able to play man
Also,
across the
for some
board,
reason we've been mean and we've been like giving away the playbook to beat Greendale
That's fine.
all season.
we've done it
You
for
know
like
what it is? It's because nobody knows what to do when they see it. It feels frustrating, and so it's almost like you need to give them the cheat codes,
'Cause, like,
and then you have like a chance.
what's your record against the Joey Taylor tree?
I think I've won 1 and lost like 6.
Really? Because we're like 5-2, and like
That's not bad.
so I truly love and appreciate everything
that's not
all
bad.
those guys have done for the league, and Joey being again, I've the one starting the conversation. Joey Taylor for Hall of Fame, but at the same time, what they do is very simple. I know because I stole it. I straight up stole it. All
That-
my teams run that offense.
You're a terrible thief, by the way.
Danny
absolutely.
stole it.
I think like you don't know how to do it properly.
Correct, but Mike Madonna does, and that's why once we power went 5-3. That's why once we power beat Greendale human beings, we run the same plays.
Yeah, it works.
It works. They're amazing.
It works really well.
So, but if you know that, then how can you not beat them?
So let's do the reverse.
Well,
thing.
if you don't
What
have the
do
athletes to do it.
GHB need to do to beat the Dream Breakers?
So it depends. If Dream Breakers run the multitude of zones that most teams run, they just do their regular offense and they pick the holes in the zone.
I think they're going to have to go a little beyond what they usually do. They're going to have to use more of the over-the-top patterns. So GHB is going to use their usual underneath and try to break zones with their patterns. But when what I saw in the previous season when Greendale Humans had so many championship runs is when teams were starting to pick up on that and you saw safety start to shoot those deep outs, they would just send like Brendan
that's-
Elwood on a skinny post over top and he would
that's
hit
the
him all
thing.
the time.
That's the thing, and that's what Joey Taylor doesn't get credit for is the first read in his offense is, let's say it's a left side flood or center flood, it's the deep read.
Of course.
So he the entire time he's throwing those 5-yard passes, or in this case, Danny Aylward, because let's stop talking about the quarterback who doesn't play for this team. He's always looking to hit the post over top. He's always looking to hit the sideline fade. He's always looking to hit
It's
the
all.
corner.
It's also easier to read further the closest than the other way around, right?
Well, also, if you're throwing deep and you don't have a strong arm, you need to make that read early.
Yes.
Whereas if you're throwing short, it might still be open later in the read.
But if you're also throwing short, your imminent threat's the closest guy.
Yeah.
And that's the guy that reacts the latest. So if you read him a second earlier, he could have moved by then and then become a threat. Where if you read him last, you can make a last second decision on him.
So he's actually always looking to throw deep. It's just that FPF, the way the zones are structured, teams are trying to take away the deep ball mostly. A lot of teams don't play aggressively. So allows Danny Aylward to pick apart the intermediate and short zones. And if you can, and this is what they do. They stretch the field, they have someone short, and then they attack that intermediate area. And they force you to choose between stopping a 5-yard completion in your face, which you get tired of giving up, and hitting a guy at 7 to 12 yards over top. So the thing is, what GHB needs to do is, if they're playing zone, stretch the defense, run your system, it will work. If you see man, you need to start using bump routes. You need to start using rub routes. You need to get the ball out of your hand quickly, and you need to throw the sidelines, which Danny Aylward has shown hesitance doing this season.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. But then doing it during game time is completely different. Right? That's why they're so successful. Is when it comes down to actually executing, it's difficult.
Your pick.
I'm going with Greendale Human Beings on this one.
GHB.
Have they ever lost a playoff game before?
Sorry?
Have they ever lost a playoff game before?
I don't know.
Aren't they like 12-0?
It also doesn't mean anything.
Means everything. Peace.
No.
The
because-
streak.
Okay. I mean, it means something to them to win, yes. But I'm saying it's not an accurate predictor for the future.
Sure.
I'm going to go Dreambreakers because I already predicted they're playing in the Pollice Bowl. Mean Machine, 22, take on Easy W, 25. When this season would have started, I would have said, hey, that's a great playoff game. Now I'm saying, hey, I don't think that's going to be a great playoff game.
It's going to be a blowout.
See how one word changes everything?
Yeah. And so
Like
many.
flammable and inflammable.
That's not even a word. That's just,
Man,
wait a second. That changes nothing.
Oh, sorry. Like laughter and manslaughter.
Because because I am leading the show and I have to read the next part of the script, I'm on a 7-second delay, not in my headset, but in my brain. So it almost takes me a second to
I was
react.
about to say something very wrong, but I'll refrain. I was about to say no, but you know.
I thought you were going to go with a 7-inch delay. But what are your thoughts about the game?
I think that coming into the season, I would have seen Mean Machine being like an offensive powerhouse. They have.
He's going to say the same thing I just said in different words. Go ahead.
Yes, that's usually because we agree.
Okay.
You want me to say, okay, I agree? Move on?
No, you disagree.
ECW is a very strong offense that has a few turnovers defensively. They tend to get 1 or 2 interceptions per game that really allows them to increase their lead and just take away the game in the second half. Mean Machine is similar to that team, but their offense is not as potent as ECW's. I don't think they have the athletes to keep up with ECW, and it's going to be a blowout fast. Like, we're going to have like a 36-6 game before we even know it, and Mean Machine's going to find themselves digging a hole. They're too deep for them to dig out of.
I don't know. I don't see ECW forcing those turnovers the way you're describing it. I mean, the Mean Machine offense can be rolling, and when they're rolling, they're really doing well. So
for sure.
The thing is with Mean Machine is the way to stop them is to understand the way Daniel Goloff reads the offense. Mm-hmm. At that, it's still difficult because he throws the ball very hard, and if you're not on your spot,
fast.
if you're not breaking on the ball instantly, you won't get there in time. So they'll still catch the ball in front of you.
And he manages to put it sometimes in a place where it's undefendable.
Exactly.
Like low knee, you're not going to stop that.
He's a great quarterback, but there's also problems with catching the ball on that team.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt them.
Also, if it's coming
but
low knee, and
I was
you're
gonna
running
say
a
that
slant,
the opposite thing is gonna be true. Is that while I don't think it'll be necessarily a blowout, I think the second half will get away from them because ECW will continuously score, and I don't think that Mean Machine can stop them.
I mean, then again, I can see Jeremy White mismanaging a game potentially here.
You're only saying that because of the spring season. He now has the experience of having played in the final. He's now gotten better in that he's not relying on just one receiver. The Mean Machine play too much man, which they have a running quarterback in Jeremy White. He's going to expose that. They have fast receivers, that are faster than the guys from Mean Machine.
they don't have the rusher to actually contain that offense properly. Right? If you have a good rusher and fast corners, ECW is going to exploit that time and time again until they put up 45.
Yeah.
That's what they've been doing since the team exists.
So I think it's going to be because of the second half output. I'm going to go with ECW.
I'm going ECW by a big margin.
I'm going to go Mean Machine.
Mean Machine.
Mean Machine.
Okay. Next.
Simo, where do you stop for a beer in the East End?
Peeze's house.
There we go. That's the first one you got right.
Yes, sir!
That's the first one you got right. I delivered this week, so
it's true.
you know,
First time.
no
It's
reason.
been like 4 years I've been asking for kegs. I said I would pay for them.
Yeah, I'll send you the bill. Then pay me first.
Sure. Still hasn't happened
Eagle,
yet.
the Simo even East.
I don't have any off the top of my head right now.
Like literally, all you have to do is pay.
Not a single one?
I mean,
We're picking on you next.
where
year.
would you get a birthday cake?
Stephanie's Bakery.
That's not East End.
That's
That's
not
in
really
East End,
East.
though. Unless they move to the East End.
In which case, I'm down. Until then, I actually don't like this place, but you have to go there if you're in East End, just because.
Just because.
Because someone will ask you to pick up a cake there.
And clearly the answer is Rockberries. No, it's La Frenais.
Rockabere.
La Frenais is not good cakes. They're basically a factory of cakes. All of them have been frozen before.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Those are
but
the best.
Yet they still taste delicious.
Yeah,
Just
they're
imagine
right.
if they were fresh.
They'd be much, much, much better. I've actually gotten
can't you
them
get
where
them
like
fresh?
the fruit is still frozen on the inside.
Oh shit! Really?
It's the worst.
But can't you make it fresh though? Like can't you
I
order a
can.
fresh one?
I mean, they start
They-
off fresh.
Yeah, but why
I
can't
don't
you buy a
know
fresh
because
cake?
their volume is too high. They literally sell thousands of cakes a day.
But
Like
then
1,000 cakes a day. Like it's insane.
why don't we go like on a Tuesday?
Sorry.
Because they're still doing 1,000
Dude,
cakes a
They
day.
make like so many pounds of cake, and then they just cut it and make the cake.
Do they make pound cake? Do they make thousands of pounds of pound cake?
I don't think they make that much pound cake.
I'm interested.
Also, is it like kilogram cake?
Is that what I meant by welcome to Pound Town?
What, that they haven't learned the metric system? No, I will not sleep with you. Learn metric. Metric system's useless. The Chenard Bowl.
Yes, sir.
Pigeon Squad take on X-Men.
This is one of my favorite games this
Because
upcoming week. I think it's two teams that are struggling in different ways. Pigeon Squad has certain matchups going for them. If their offense is able to roll, they get a lot of momentum and they're able to make some plays. But there's also games that really get away from them fast and they're not able to. They sort of get riled up and they don't really know what to do. X-Men feels very similarly, where if their offense starts well, then they're able to spread the ball, use all weapons, and drive the field every drive and score. But then there's games where they start off slow and they put up 12. So I feel both teams are very similar in that way, and the matchups across the board are going to be very interesting to follow. So I think that this is going to be one of my favorite games.
So, who stops Ryan Vanslet for X-Men?
Kevin Bustani?
It's Bustani.
Is he physical enough to stop Ryan Vanslet?
He's physical enough, but he's not tall enough.
Yeah, but he goes up for those balls.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but I mean, like, so Ryan Vance is just an imposing physical guy. When
Right,
he cuts
okay.
in front of you, it's like, like for example, like a guy more known to, let's say, a lot of the FPF audience, a guy he reminds me of is Kevin Smuda, that when he hooks in front of you, there's not a lot you can do. When he cuts for his post in front of you, okay, well, now he's there and I'm not there.
Right, but okay, so imagine this scenario, okay? Literally all game, Kevin Bustani is matched up against him one-on-one all over the field. And Bustani is a really good defender. So going back to our conversation from before where you say, you can't just win on athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
Should Jared Buck throw the ball to him anyways? No. So then he's a non-factor in that game. And then it's just the other 4 receivers versus the other 4 defenders of X-Men.
You've convinced me. I'm going with X-Men. I was leaning Pigeon Squad, to be honest.
No, I'm going
X-Men.
Pigeon Squad.
It's going to be a close game, though.
I think X-Men are going to take
This might
one,
be
yeah.
the closest of the playoff games. I don't know if it'll be the best or the cleanest
That's why
game.
I'm going Pigeon Squad because I think that the receiver core of Pigeon Squad, the rest, like the other 4 is better than the X-Men's other 4.
So what does Starbucks sell most of?
I didn't actually Google it. I can imagine it's coffee.
Maybe it's those cookies.
You sure Simone didn't invite you? Also,
It doesn't
find out
work
what a
that
group
way.
of pigeons is called, if it's actually a squad.
It cannot be.
Isn't it just a flock?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
you would have
isn't-
said that
isn't
about
it
a murder of crows, but that's a real thing.
No,
Yeah, it is.
I know,
Okay.
but isn't it a flock?
I don't know.
A flock
I know
of
it's a flock of
pigeons?
seagulls. Yeah. We were all going for that joke.
It's
Lockdown.
a kit of pigeons.
A kit. There we go. It should be pigeon kit.
Pigeon Kit.
Yeah.
It's a terrible.
I'd like them better if they're pigeon kit, to be honest.
And there's a sloth of bears.
Yeah. That one.
A what?
A sloth of bears.
Or like
That sounds dangerous.
when Simo wakes up in the morning, what was lying there was a sloth of Simo.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, I'm being mean to you today. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. The next game of the Chenard
What
Bowl
did I
was
do to you?
24. You were here last week, but your brain was not.
But I mean,
It was
move
so
on, man.
Dude, I listened to the
It's
show
been
twice,
7 days.
and I was so angry. I was so angry.
It's been 7 days.
I
Did you
know.
did you listen to this morning?
Not this morning.
It's been-
Yesterday.
Then
It
move
was
on.
the second time.
It's been 24 hours.
Lockdown takes on the Warriors 24-29. Is this the most lopsided game?
By the way, this is actually a three-peat of this matchup because in last year's FPF Cup, Warriors Lockdown played in Week 9. Warriors won 31-26. And then in the first round of the elimination round, Lockdown played Warriors, and Lockdown won 32-25. So this is actually the second time in a FPF Cup that there's an elimination game between these two teams.
Is this better? Is this a better lockdown, or is last fall's a better lockdown?
Ooh. I think offensively we're better this year. I think defensively we're missing on the intelligence. But
So
the-
just
So you're calling your teammates
You-
dumb?
Or Eagle got
No,
dumber as he got
it's-
older. Like Alzheimer's is what he's.
so
He's
the,
pleading
the,
Alzheimer's.
No,
the
no,
best
he's
way
calling
I
his
can
teammates
describe
dumb.
it, like the Greendale human beings is the best one, right? There's a way to plan against them, but if you don't understand the plan because you don't know football well enough to kind of understand the routes and the combinations, it's hard to explain that to someone, right? It's like trying to explain like a spider two-eye banana to someone who has no idea what football is.
I love bananas.
What's a banana?
I like spiders.
Simo,
He likes
what's a
letters.
banana?
He was
Yeah.
good with the two-eye.
So what
But
you're
it's
saying?
basically it's like that. So offense, it's easy. It's run a post. Okay, and then you go get the ball. On defense, it's okay. Well, you're dropping back, you're looking sideline, but then you're cheating in on this guy and watch the flood and call out this, and then that you get overloaded with information. So that's the struggle we have this year.
So what you're saying is lockdowns defensive players are dumb. Thank you for that, Eagle. I'm gonna go with
He's not disagreeing. At no point has he disagreed.
So
But the thing is, that's where I think they'll struggle because Warriors' offense is so good. And last time, it took them limiting Michael Soleimani to 5 touchdowns. To 4 touchdowns.
how many times has Pat Riot down by less than a score at the ball to win the game and did not?
It's happened a few times actually. That's
Yeah.
how we've lost a lot. of
Yeah,
games
I
this
mean,
year.
it happened a few times this season. Previous seasons,
It happened to Spike Command.
yeah.
extra
we
points
beat
in
him.
red zone.
Yes, sir.
Extra points in red zone killers.
So what's gonna happen is you guys. So Warriors are gonna score like last minute or so. They're gonna give the ball back to lockdown with 4, 5, 6 plays, and still win. Because lockdown won't be able to score to win the game.
So Warriors,
And then Eagle's gonna walk away. It's like, oh, we lost again. It's not my fault. My defense played well. No, you allowed like 5 touchdowns. Your defense didn't play well, and now we know why. Because he threw his whole entire team under the bus.
And I say Warriors win by forfeit because lockdown doesn't show up after hearing Eagles' comments.
That'd be so good.
I have to go pick them up. Imagine they don't come outside.
This
No,
is
I'm
bad.
staying here.
No, I'm not playing with you, Eagle. Alex.
Look
I don't-
who's dumb now.
El Aquila.
Be awesome if they're like, no, we're not coming out. Look who's dumb now. And then you're like, guys, you should lock the door. So you're still dumb. Eagle, who's winning this game?
I think it's going to be a one-score difference. I think you guys are making the difference way out of proportion here.
I said it's gonna be a
So
one.
you're saying you're going to lose by less.
I didn't say which way it's going to go. I'm just saying it's going to be a one-score game.
That's what I said. And then you're gonna lose because you won't score at the end. But we're making it too big of a thing.
Simo is old.
Cool story, bro.
Simo is old. And complains about wireless mouses.
Mouses.
Meese.
Meese. No, it's not meese. Not English, but it's not meese.
This is where you do the thing you're
Yeah.
supposed to do.
So, if you guys work in an office for some reason, everybody has wireless mouses.
wireless.
It's a nest of mice, by the way.
Nice.
So if
We have a
within the
nest of mice.
Notice I can find that very quickly, but I still don't know what the most sold item is at Starbucks.
Yeah, I asked like an hour ago.
These mice always run out of batteries. Like, every week, man.
Mices.
We need to get either better batteries or
Vanilla
just
latte.
wires. Really?
Sorry?
Vanilla latte.
That's
A
it.
latte. There we
That's the
go.
answer?
Coffee.
PSL is number 3.
The word latte means coffee, Simo.
No, but I'm surprised. Anyways, vanilla? Really? Of all flavors?
No, it actually means milk.
What?
It means milk.
Oh, that's
Latte.
also true.
So the so the thing they sell the most is
milk.
vanilla milk. What was I saying earlier? I demand apologies.
I apologize. You're right. They sell vanilla milk. Man, I'm sorry. I took my brain off. Maybe Simo bit me.
I did not. That's not what happened. What were we talking about?
Nest of mice.
Oh yes, nest of mice. So why can't we just have wired mouses?
So
Mice.
it's happened to me.
Mice.
Those exist.
I know they exist, but why does no offices ever have any?
So like I'm really bad at taking care of my things,
Fair.
like everything.
Yes.
So because I can't be trusted with a box of batteries, my secretary keeps it. But then when she goes home, I don't know where she keeps it. So it's happened a couple of occasions. I really need to finish this by tomorrow, and then it's like, well, I can't find the batteries, and I don't want to walk to the pharmacy. So I guess I'll finish it tomorrow instead of by tomorrow.
So what you're saying, we have the same problem.
Yeah.
I-
Bizarre amount of times, actually.
I'm always using a wired mouse because I'm terrified of that day where you accidentally click on something because the mouse kind of jiggles around off the wireless thing because signal interference, and then suddenly you get fired for having clicked something you shouldn't have clicked.
So
Knowing you guys, what you send me,
What do you do at work?
I have to talk to you guys.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not a fireable
Every click
offense.
is a risky click.
That's true though. We are a fireable offense.
Yeah.
I take that back.
Yeah, our let's hope they're not monitoring your conversations.
And we know they don't because
Because
otherwise,
Eagle's still employed, yeah. In the Benabdelkader Bowl, Los Avocados at 33 take on the Bruins at 38.
I mean, if there's a good matchup for Los Avocados, this is it. They're playing against a team that's considered, let's say, lower division, which Los Avocados should be able to excel against. Bruins also doesn't necessarily have the best defense in the tier, so Los Avocados should be able to put up points. If the game comes down to offense against offense, I'm gonna have to go Los Avocados. We could be surprised by the Bruins defense. They've shown some improvement in the recent season. Mathieu Ouimet had a fantastic season, offensively and defensively. But in the offense, if it's offense only, give me Avocados.
So because the defense will physically be on the field, I'm going to go with Bruins. Eagle.
I have nothing to add to this because we keep shitting on Zorko. And so I don't know. I feel like every time we talk about Avocados, we throw them under the bus. We're like, they should be doing better, but they're
You
not.
just picked Avocados.
Yeah,
I just said they will win because of offense.
but that's why, like, I feel like if we pick for them, we're kind of like, we secretly want you to do well. But
No.
then the moment you don't, we pounce on you.
So
and if
see,
we
no,
pick,
I know Simon. You know, you need to know the type of vile creature you work with, Eagle.
Yeah, you should. do
Simon
that.
is picking them, hoping they lose, so he can shit on them
That's- yeah,
in the next episode.
exactly.
No.
Exactly. And if I shit on them now and they win, it's going to be like, oh, you guys fucking hate us.
Yeah.
So
the problem is they do that sometimes, but not today.
Today,
That's not the case. I actually believe they're gonna win like 44-38 or something.
the second game. in
One
the
score difference. They said they're going to win. They're going to dominate by one score.
No, I
dominate
said
by
that
one score.
their
It'd be a
offense is gonna
very
dominate.
dominating score.
7 touchdowns, pretty good, man.
Yeah, but you let another 7 against
Yeah,
you.
but I told them their defense is not good.
You told
I
them?
said that. Yes, them.
Okay.
People are listening. Peeze.
Oh, I thought you meant like
It's a famous podcast.
You just like you randomly called Josh Vasquez like, yo, your defense is terrible. Hangs up. He's like, who was that? Why does this person have my
Simon?
number?
yes, hello. Is your refrigerator running? Oh, by the way, your defense sucks.
In the second game in the Benabdelkader Bowl, Grabouche take on Jean-Guy. Simon, you know your pick.
Yes, sir.
Why are Jean-Guy winning the
The
game?
easiest pick of all times because Jean-Guy's undefeated, man. This streak goes on.
But like they only stay undefeated if they win.
Yes, it's gonna happen because
Grabouche is good, though.
Yeah.
so is Jean-Guy. Like I'm happy to see that. First of all, I'm very happy for the season for Jean-Guy. It's a great one. They've had a strong season overall. They played well throughout. They moved up. Now they're facing tougher competition. But I think that Grabouche, although yes, it's a good team, rely too much on one guy offensively to really perform. And Jean-Guy has the ability, first of all, to disrupt their quarterback really well with Simon Laporte. And if you put enough pressure on the quarterback and he throws back foot, which he's been doing most of the time when he's facing a good rusher, he's going to throw bad balls. They're going to be intercepted. Jean-Guy's going to build on that. And the thing about Jean-Guy is once they get a certain lead in the game, they get so intense and disruptive and annoying that it's tough to play against because they get you out of your game. You've played against, you've heard them before.
Mhm.
Like, I would hate to play against Jean-Guy and be down by 2 scores.
Yeah.
They're annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like most teams in FPF are annoying.
Yeah, but
Nobody who plays in this league is a well-balanced, normal individual.
it's true. Some people throw us under the bus all the time.
Yeah.
My only comment on this game, it takes about 30 days to process THC. And this game is on November 15th. So
They haven't lost though since the legalization of marijuana.
They haven't played since.
They also haven't lost this
They
season.
haven't
They also haven't lost this season.
Are they still with us?
They might not be.
The thing is with Jean-Guy, I think the Magic Cinderella run. So like, do you remember mashups were a thing?
You think this is it? Right here?
Yeah.
First round bye? First round goodbye?
I guess it's also a buy. They, you remember when mashups were popular?
It's so funny to me. Yeah.
So like, let's say like, there's Cinderella. She's looking fine as hell. She's got like a pearl necklace on. She leaves the ball, but then she wanders into the alley where Bruce Wayne's parents were supposed to be.
That got dark real fast.
So that's what I think should have happened to Jean-Guy.
I was thinking Chenard's gonna go outside, have a joint, forget her shoes. But no,
That's why
you go
she
to the
got-
alley.
That's
why
how
she
she got
forgot
in a
shoes.
pumpkin carriage to begin with.
That's why she forgot the keys to pumpkin carriage. That's why she had to walk through the goddamn alley. Where
That
she
makes
got
more
murdered.
sense now. I still can't get it wrap my head around the fact that weed is legalized. Like smoking a joint is actually legal now. It still confuses me.
It's only
And
happening
nothing
everywhere.
has changed.
Exactly. It's only the same as it was this entire time.
Except we make more money now.
So, that said, I think that Jean-Guy will have trouble. I think it's on offense. I think Charlin will make a few mistakes.
So you keep hating on Jean-Guy?
Yeah. And
Fair.
now I'll be vindicated.
That's fine. Jean-Guy, man.
Jean-Guy lose close one. I'm thinking like 21-18,
Nope.
21-19.
Nope. Jean-Guy to the bowl, man.
I'm going to go Grabuge 32-24.
No, man. Jean-Guy. Jean-Guy wins. Jean-Guy gets the bowl.
So I want that to happen so badly just now. Because my idea was to name the bowl after like
Jean-Guy?
things that were in bowls.
Oh, yeah, spaghetti.
The
Cereal.
spaghetti bowl, the spaghetti bowl,
Cereal
bowl,
bowl.
haircut bowl, the cereal bowl, the smokable bowl.
The
The
smokable
bowl was the first one I pitched to Robert Campana, and instead we went with this.
No, wasn't it spaghetti?
It was, yeah, so it was spaghetti first, then the smokable bowl.
I actually heard a good one because we rotated the names of the different bowls because beforehand Wyeth was considered the best one and now they shifted over for the new Hall of Fame inductees.
I did not notice that.
Okay, yeah, so that's it.
Also
So the
did-
Wyeth Bowl is actually kind of tier 3, well, the third one in order. So I actually saw Kevin Wyeth in the title and I'm like, hey, so what do you think about your bowl being not the first one? He's like, what I want to do is win every single one of them. I want to have every single name at the trophy list. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good actually. So he's got 10 more years in him, clearly.
Weird dreams.
Potentially, yeah, I know. More of a nightmare for me.
I mean, okay, Kevin, sure.
In the Thompson Bowl, the Hawks 35 take on replacements 42. I think the Hawks will do better this round because I think this is like better suited to their talent level.
Yeah, I think that, yes, we've a bit like crapped on them recently, saying they lack firepower and they're not. But they do have athletic players that are going to be giving teams like replacement a lot of trouble defensively.
Yeah, like Richie Mondesir and Riley Pincombe. Like I think Riley
Yeah,
Pincombe
Coupe
should be the
Delimac
lead guy
also.
at this point. Sorry?
Jakub
And
Tinemac
Jakub
also,
Tinemac
like
as well.
he's going to be a nightmare to play against. He's fast. He knows what's going on. And against quarterbacks that are not higher division quarterbacks, he's going to have, like, they're going to have a feast. It's not Thanksgiving yet, but these guys are going to feast. It wasn't great.
Replacement stand a chance?
No.
Because?
They might be able to keep them to a low-scoring game. So they might be able to keep this to like an 18-12, 19-7 game. But I do not see replacement being able to put up 20 points or more. So can you win with only scoring 18, 19 points?
Maybe. That's how they
But-
won
but that's-
games, right?
But that's the thing. It's maybe. Usually they put
I
up
don't
like
see it
4.
happening. I think Jakub runs wild, and I think Hawks win.
Agreed. It's a cast of Hawks, by the way.
Nice.
I like this new thing. Although nest of mice.
Waiting
is
for your
pretty
pick.
good. I told you Ox.
All right. It
I
was
picked the
clear. It's
Oh,
not
sorry.
clear. Because you're arguing like on behalf and against the same thing sometimes.
Yeah, I
so
do that all the time.
it's hard to know. In the last game of the Thompson Bowl, the struggling Bulldogs are taking on Raw Sauce 36, taking on 21. Raw Sauce haven't been great,
Wait, what?
and Bulldogs have been atrocious.
Bulldogs 36, Raw Sauce 21.
Yeah.
That can't be the right seeding.
Listen, this came from Eagle.
Can't be.
Eagle has never made a mistake.
They can't be 15 points apart.
Why not?
Why is the 21st seed playing the 36th seed?
No, it's got to be 31 then.
Yeah, they can't be 21.
Listen, man, I'm reading what you gave me.
Okay, so I have a typo.
Nope. You read the
Typos-
typo.
Having typos is the most unprofessional behavior.
I'm-
You are Ron Burgundy. That's what you are.
I've heard of people getting fired for typos.
Yeah. So, Bulldogs 36, Raw Sauce 21. That's not the score. That's the rankings. Will it be the score though?
Maybe that could actually. I don't know. I like Raw Sauce in this matchup, but
Maybe, I don't know. Steaming hot takes from Simon Dagenais. Polarizing.
watch out!
So it would be a drove of bulls, and then for dogs you can go as pack or kennel or apparently a cowardice.
What about the
So-
Cowardice.
A cowardice.
What
Yeah, I
about
like
the
that one.
sauce?
I mean, it's sauce.
A container of sauce. So who wins? The
Container.
cowardice of
A
dogs
packet of sauce.
or a packet of sauce?
I'm gonna go with Bulldogs. I think that raw sauce is gonna lack firepower against Bulldogs. This is the sort of matchups that I find difficult in this tier. Is these lower end teams like replacements raw sauce against, those tier 3, borderline tier 3, tier 4 teams like Bulldogs, Ox. The difference is too big for these teams to overcome.
I gotta agree with him on this one. I think in both cases, Hawks and Bulldogs are it's effectively kind of a low Div 4, high tier 5 or Div 5 team playing against like a Div 6 team. It's just I'm not to say I don't have a chance, but I think these ones are going to be a lot wider of a margin. And even next round, you're looking at the semifinals. You have MacDo and Trojans in this group. If you put Hawks and Bulldogs against either of those, that's still a tight game.
MacDo, man.
I'm not so sure.
Just based on the name.
So I'm gonna go with raw sauce.
Really?
Container sauce.
Because container of sauce.
Well, we haven't seen Bulldogs win a game,
Fair.
so I don't know if if they're capable of winning a game. Well, there's also a thing that plays into it, right? Like, when you fall into the playoffs, sort of ass backwards, your confidence is a bit shaken, so you may not start the game well. And if you don't start the game well, it's just gonna.
Yeah,
collapse.
I understand.
I feel like it'll get away from them, and like I don't think they're much worse of a team than Raw Sauce.
That's fair.
If not,
Yeah, they might start a game by saying, "Oh, we're not that
or
great.
the guys might not show up. Like you don't know.
We're not that
if they're
great."
working
Then
as a team.
they don't really give a shit, and things get off to yeah.
Some guys have had great seasons. Some guys have had worse seasons. We're going to talk about the great seasons. But before we do that, Simone's got some topics he's going to bring to us.
That's right now.
Yeah, we've heard his steaming hot takes.
Steamy hot takes.
When he said maybe and I don't know. But now he knows. Because now is Simone's 90 seconds of heat.
Ego was not ready again.
I keep building up. Like I keep taking like 2 minutes. Where he
I
should
even
know
said,
what to-
it's right now.
I'm looking at him trying to get like eye contact. So
I'm trying to set it up.
The last time you had eye contact with him was 5 years ago.
yeah. Eagle.
You know what happened back
Eyes
then.
down. Eyes down.
Hold on.
Hey, keep your eyes down. I'm also a piece of meat. Still waiting, Eagle.
It's so bad.
Okay.
Where's Michael Bay?
Jesus
Do we have explosions behind us?
3, 2, 1.
Can I have explosions behind me during this? All right. It's so good. All right, first thing. Nice. So when did garbage food like McDonald's, when did it get so expensive? Like, I remember like 10 years ago, $5 would give me like a 3-hour would be fine. Life would go on.
Stopped eating it.
What happened? Why is it like 13 now?
Because like
It's not inflation, because inflation doesn't go up by like 400% in 8 years. That's not how inflation works. Also, speaking of garbage food, why are Brussels sprouts so expensive?
I don't know. I don't like.
No one likes
the
Brussels
first time
sprouts.
I had in my life, I was 25, and like, why would anyone feed this to their children?
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like it's sort of like spinach. It's not good. You eat it because it's good for you, but you like.
Mom told me that shit's awesome.
Really? Nah.
That's not working.
So today I heard about this thing called a pact. It's very French.
What?
That thing about environment called the pact, where people sign like a pact for environment, saying I will do it, I will improve on my behaviors, blah, blah. Which overall it's a good thing. Like if you want to be more environmental-ish, it's good. But why are people shitting on the ones signing the paper? Like they're pissed off. It's like, oh, you use this to like promote yourself. First of all, that's what everybody do all the time at all times. It's called society. Also, it's a good thing. Speaking about environment, talking about it just makes it more out there. Stop shitting on the ones doing it. You should stop throwing away your garbage in the street while you're driving. This morning I was following a guy on the highway 720.
That's it. We're done. That's it. Thank you, Simo. You're following a guy in the 720. Maybe you shouldn't follow people. They'll be happier.
Or not.
Simo,
We'll never know.
you're the one who unilaterally picks the award winners
Yes.
by yourself because
Yes.
If
No, it's not true,
people
but yes.
disagree, I don't care.
But there used to be a vote, but
Contact
then
Simo Dagenais.
yeah, we used to do votes, and then people would complain more.
Who would complain? Wait, because what happened was we used to vote, but then you nominated yourself as an all-star anyway.
That's not. That's exactly what not happened.
That's the thing that happened. Eagle, is that how you remember it?
That's exactly what happened.
So, I mean, facts are facts, though. So
Facts are facts, though.
tier 1, quarterback of the year.
Are you
Shocker.
Are you saying it or am I saying it?
You're saying it.
Okay. Well, quarterback of the year. This is probably the biggest shock there is. Kevin Wyeth.
Not competing in the Wyeth.
No. He's
Also, maybe you should have waited
not
for
good enough to be in. Well, how was I supposed to know?
Kevin
Bruce is
Wyeth.
so bad.
Kevin Wyeth.
Kevin Wyeth, 1 interception all season. Dumb. Almost has a perfect quarterback rating after 8 games.
The wide receiver of the year. Tier 1.
Matthew Rupsick. Very, very impressive season with like 15 touchdowns. Overall, I'm surprised to see him as a receiver, not like two-way or defensive player. But ever since he's been playing with Joey Taylor, he's been put up monster numbers offensively.
DB of the year. Tier 1.
Mathieu Lepage, also a guy who's not necessarily known for his defensive plays, but stellar season with Braves in only 6 games.
Tier 1, two-way.
AJ Gomes, very
Congrats, buddy.
yeah, he's like probably right here. Very, very good season by him. Both ways, I was very impressed.
Tier 2, quarterback of the year.
Do we wait before we do that? Is there anyone that was snubbed, Simon?
In tier 1,
We'll hear about it tomorrow.
In tier 1, no, tier 1 was pretty clean cut.
In tier 2, the funniest award for quarterback of the year goes to the man who would have picked himself.
François Martin.
How annoying is that?
I mean, he put his name in there like 20 times in his article saying he had a great week. So at some point,
Is that really the reason why you picked him? Please tell me yes.
I thought it was because he ran for all those yards that 1 week.
I know, like 25 or something.
One run for 28 yards.
No, like 2.
And he was the 5th best rusher.
No.
He had to highlight it.
To be fair, the François Martin, he did have a very good
I will
season.
not be fair to this.
That's fair, but I will.
Tier 2, wide receiver of the year.
The guy that got snubbed 20 times or something, Nicolas Sarro.
It's about time.
About time he won't get snubbed again.
Is it because he's short?
Yes.
All right. Tier 2, DB of the year.
It's your boy, William Power.
Yeah.
I won't. Yeah, he had a good season. I think he could have done better just because of the schemes you guys were running. But overall, I mean, William Power did have a very good season defensively, and OSP's success is part of why he's the reason why OSP is this successful.
That's true. That's never been the case before. Tier 2, two-way player of the year.
Isaiah Allard.
That's pretty obvious.
Probably the most disgusting season I've seen in a very long time. His defensive stats are all over the place. And he's got like 500 yards and 14 touchdowns.
Yeah. That's, I mean,
It's dumb.
at this point, like, put his face on the award.
It was simple. What I did was, what's the most prestigious one? Oh, two-way. Isaiah Allard, you're getting two-way because he could have gone either of.
I have not verified this, but I can almost guarantee he himself has scored more touchdowns as a receiver DB than Simon has as quarterback.
Is it an Isaiah of rabbits? Tier 3,
Isaiah of
quarterback.
rabbits?
Yeah.
Tier 3. Oh. Jeremy White from EZW. Another very good season from him. He had his second quarterback of the year, I believe. Second quarterback of the year and like 2 receivers of the year.
Speaking of receiver of the year, T3, receiver of the year.
Pierre-Alexandre Tache. Solid season by him.
Yeah,
Overall,
really
very impressed.
Tier 3, DB of the year.
The guy you keep hating on. Kevin
Don't hate
Boost.
Boost.
Kevin
Boost.
he
Boost,
can't play
man.
defense. 9 picks, man. In like 8 games. Pretty impressive.
Two-way player of the year. Tier 3 goes to
Vincent Benjamin.
Shocker.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal player.
Quarterback of the year, Tier 4. Is it your boy?
The man himself, Christophe Chartrand. Yeah, undefeated season. No, undefeated season. Very good season for Christophe Chartrand. Really elevated his team. Pun intended.
Olivier. Sorry.
This guy!
Wide receiver of the year, Tier 4. I'm tired.
Olivier Dolores. Very impressive season. Also, it's a guy not a lot of people know, but if you look at the stats, you're going to know him now.
It was Olivier D or, no, too obvious. Oh, Delarez.
No.
Boy.
Tier 4, DB of the year.
William Plante. Although he played less games than everybody else, better sets than everybody else.
He's a very good defender.
He's a great defender.
He needs to become a better quarterback. ASAP.
But great athlete.
Think about it. Every pick that he throws, he gets one back.
Yeah.
I mean,
To be fair, like I can say that because Sticks went to no one. Tier
Also-
4,
also-
two-way player of the year.
Mathieu Ouimet. The reason he's not quarterback of the year is because he's two-way player of the year.
And because you wanted to give it to Christophe Chatin.
No,
Snub.
actually, snub. No,
Snub.
actually, the reason he's not quarterback of the year is because his defensive stats were great, and he had the one of the best defensive stats. Also, to a fantastic two-way performance this season. By
Snub. But also, like, so when we think of two-way as like the most prestigious
Yep.
award, but as a quarterback, wouldn't you rather win quarterback of the year?
Do you play both ways though? Like, do you want to be represented as a guy who plays offense and defense, or you just as a quarterback?
I mean, it'll never happen for me on either case. But like for me, if I'm playing quarterback, I want to win quarterback of the year.
You would rather have quarterback than two-way, and then you
Yes.
could tell like Justin Blanchard, bro, I got two-way, not you.
Yeah, I'd still be like, bro, I'm a better quarterback than you.
He knows that.
Yeah, but still.
But you could tell them I'm a better defensive player
But
than
like
you
now
are.
I have proof.
I'm a better DB than you are.
Final thoughts.
All right, first off, congratulations, everyone.
Yes.
So that's your final thought. You've wasted it.
Oh, you said
No,
first
that
off.
was just
Alright.
the
Final
minutes
thoughts.
You go.
In case you guys didn't notice, the ratings have been updated on the
Mhm.
website for everyone for winter 2019. To summarize what the changes we did, because we've got a few questions around it, we tried to balance the divisions a little bit more, where we squeezed everyone a little bit tighter. Overall, your rating will have decreased. That's normal because everyone's ratings decreased, especially on defense. So defense, we lowered them a lot. We had some guys who were like high 90s last season, or when we did the adjustments, and we're like, yeah, that shouldn't happen. So everything came much lower. So if you did go down, that's normal.
Send
Registration's open.
complaints to Eagle at Master Control.
Yes.
Simon, final thoughts.
We really need to have Michael Bay as a producer. All the explosions would be so good.
I can tell you we can't afford Michael Bay.
I mean, if we tell them it's like a fun thing.
We can't even afford Eagle's brother.
And he said he would take $1 more than Eagle to do it.
I know. I'm already making $1 more than Eagles, so
It's becoming a lot of dollars.
$2.
It's a lot of dollars. Wait, he would make more money than you?
Yeah, he would. He would now be FPF's highest paid employee by $1. Where I am now by $1. Am I going for one, going for two? I'm going to go for two this week, but I'm going to make it quick because there's a football game on and I'm tired. The first of my 2 points is it's the playoffs. We're here, the knockout round. When you lose this time, you're going home. So good luck to everyone. Next thing is we have a rules committee meeting that Eagle and I will not be able to attend for the first time in a while. So Simon, you're back on the committee.
Don't fuck it up.
Do we have
No, I will.
do we have a third
Trust
member?
Yes, but I don't know what it is.
So everyone sends Simon.
No, I know. I
Facebook
like the
post.
surprise, man. I like GM Coletris and I is going to be there, and there's going to be a third guy
Dave Allen.
as a player, but
Pretty good one.
I don't know who it is, and I prefer to have it like to
I
be
just
surprised.
told you, it's Dave Allen.
Again, let me finish. Jeez, Louise. I like the surprise when I show up there. Unlike Peeze, I like surprises.
Simon, can you, Eagle, can you look up how old the person was who last used the sentence, "Geez, Louise"?
I think they died.
I think I cannot. They don't have
Not
to
of
do
old
that.
age. The mob killed them after they said it.
He was 16. He
pitchfork
died
came
a
out.
terrible death.
The guy said, "Geez, Louise," and that was his life.
Yeah, he was set on fire. So if you do have ideas for the rules committee, I do suggest. I used to take them in the past.
Yes,
because
100%.
I literally recording the first episode actually for Hot Sauce Sports that night, and then I leave for Toronto a few hours later, very early in the morning.
So cool, bro.
So I'm literally not going to be able to
Yeah,
get the
but
information.
Realistically,
to
in the
up on
next
time now.
5-6 days,
Yeah.
send me any ideas you guys have for rules, regardless if you think it's a bit too out there or not. We will talk about every one of them with the referees and the people that are going to be there.
Like, there's no stupid suggestions. I suggested at one point, no punts.
Yeah.
You know, like that was considered to be absolutely crazy, and whatever. And still
There,
is, but
there was
whatever,
one that
like,
suggested at some point someone said we should take away the flags, but then it's not FPF anymore.
yeah,
So that,
it would
but,
just be plus football.
but we did discuss it for like 5 minutes.
Every year we get the exact same suggestion from Kendall Myers, which is for celebrating, and that we should allow for
But we
celebration,
kind of do now. But they're tolerated now.
just like the NFL.
Yeah.
They set the precedent, we just follow it.
Yo, Michael Thomas was genius.
Ring, 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 ring.
The fact that
ring,
they was
ring,
punished, you're just dumb, NFL.
Also, it didn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So send us your rule suggestions. Tell us also why you think this is the rule that we need.
Of course.
just from a historical perspective, we focus primarily on the speed of the game. So anything that adds more time to the game, we try and take out. That's why, for example, we don't have overtime in the regular season, and player safety. So if you're going to add a rule that makes the game more unsafe, we will try and avoid that. That's just a general principle of the rules committee. We're trying to make the game faster in a sense, and we're trying to make the game safer and more fun.
Yeah, so definitely do send the ideas. And if you have ideas on how to manage, for example, one of the things we talked about a lot recently, this isn't for players committee, but if you have ideas on how to better improve the situation with players being replaced on rosters and players missing games due to injury and playoff eligibility, do send it to us, because we're having heated debates daily about the subject. So definitely send your input as well.
Heated.
Yeah, well, I get heated.
We type furiously.
Yeah, pieces on heat.
You hear the clicks in my office.
He tasted some hot
But
sauce.
yeah, it's something we've talked about for a long time now, like a few seasons
We've been
back
trying
to back.
to get it right.
And it's something that's a bit difficult. But if you guys have an idea we might consider, or if you think this would be a good solution for your team, it could apply to more teams, please share. Give us your idea, and we don't have all the solutions. We're not geniuses.
Or chemists. Thank you, Eagle, for producing the show. Thank you for doing this much work this week, Simo. That was nice.
That's exactly what your mother needed.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just to be impregnated, you don't need to be large at all. But so thanks for
You go
admitting
like
that.
stop.
But most of all, thank you all for letting me be myself.
So we've talked about animal groupings, but what would a bunch of podcasters be called?
A squad.
Douchebags.